Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It is the 12th of November, 2023. Man, I'm bleeding everywhere. It's crazy. Don't get old. Getting old ain't for pussies. I'll tell you that right now. I did not live in such a fashion that was conducive to growing old gracefully. But what can be done at this particular juncture in my life? It is what it is. So check this out. It's the 11th. It's the 12th. It's November. It's 2025. And we have not gotten a new cover from the Economist magazine. So the night that I put the Economist up, it just popped up and I looked at it as I was talking about it. But we're going to look at it a little deeper and see if there's anything else that we can possibly make any type of sense out of. So here, as they say, we go. So last night where I was, you could see the Aurora Borealis in the Ozarks, right on the Arkansas border. Totally natural. No, nothing to see here. But if you look at these are all angry, unusual, strange-looking Aurora Borealis. They don't look natural. I've seen them natural once up on the Canadian border while I was snowmobiling. Now, people need to understand, this is HARP. This is what it does. This is one of the side effects. HARP is up and running. This is an actual picture taken over the HARP facility in Alaska. But people are under the impression there's only one HARP facility. That is not accurate whatsoever at all. And if you don't know what HARP does, this is what it looks like when it's in action. They claim they use it for communication with submarines and they bounce it off the ionosphere when they actually just bounce it off the firmament above us. There's a lot of HARP facilities. Some of them are mobile, some of them are seaworthy, like this one that was right beside the Twin Towers on 9/11, strangely enough. These HARP facilities are all over the United States and all over the world, and they come in many different forms. Some of them look like HARP. Some of them look like the more modern, streamlined version, which is what you would know as NEXRAD or Doppler stations. These things are not to tell you what the weather is going to be whatsoever at all. These are mini HARPs. HARP was the original. These are the streamlined versions, and they use them all over the United States. These things are what's causing this. And the strange thing about this is, not only was the Aurora Borealis in the sky last night, it was raining spider webs today. And I was able to catch it with the P950. This was off the back of my buddy's truck, and look at this stuff. It looks like fishing wire, and then it's one strand that turns into two. One's much heavier, one's much thinner. You can see the bridges between them, exactly what a spider wouldn't do. And with the amount of spider webs that were all over the high up places today, it would be raining spiders, and it wasn't. This stuff was thick, heavy duty stuff, and oddly enough, they're claiming that there's going to be a ground level event because of the sun. Like I told you, the origins of these things were before you attack a country, you fly over it, you drop stuff like on their electrical grid, and it knocks out their power. So keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? So there's that for now. So let's get to The Economist.
All of them are some sort of a double thread. That's crazy. Meanwhile, they're talking about a solar hit.
I want to go back to 2017 where Donald Trump was sitting on top of a throne made of the United States flag, holding a scepter and another element in his hand. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head, but he was basically the king of the world. Do you see what I'm saying? I did a breakdown on this in 2017. I'm not going back to it right now because it's late. I'm bleeding and I have to take a shower. But take note right next to him. The entire world is completely connected one way or the other. Nothing new under the sun. But on the new Economist cover, or what we think is the Economist cover, or what they're presenting is this. Okay, so one of the things I pointed out was a Viking ship. Well, it's not a Viking ship. It's actually Greek. It has Greek adornments on the sail. What they are holding was what's called Greek fire. It was like napalm. These guys were so far ahead of their time, it was crazy. But it was like napalm, and they would set the enemy's ships on fire with it. To this day, they can't figure out what it was made of, so I guess that is the meaning. They're going to go on a big burning spree. Now, that answer right there came from one of my subscribers called Jesus Saves, so I appreciate that. Because again, at first glance, it looked like a Viking ship. And Greek fire, is literally something that was way ahead of its time, technologically speaking. Nobody had anything like that. So the Greeks were kicking ass and taking names. But the more I look at it, them using Greek fire, something almost nobody knows about, I am familiar with it just from history, is them using technology that nobody else has to vanquish their enemies. This was basically what Greek fire looked like back in the old days. And like I said, it was secret technology nobody else knew how they made, and they're unleashing it on others. So that's basically the elites telling us they're going to use secret technology no one's ever seen before, and they're going to unleash it on us. Do you see what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Boom, bitches. Also, I had originally said that it looked like a hot air balloon and somebody was cutting the strings, but 4 minutes after I uploaded the video, I posted it and said it's a soccer ball being kicked. And soccer balls are 3D objects, so they don't have sides in the traditional sense. However, their surfaces are made up of panels, which are usually hexagonal or pentagonal in shape. A traditional soccer ball has 32 panels made up of 20 hexagons and 12 pentagons. But a soccer ball is a 3D object. Okay, so that's crazy because that could be alluding to holographic imagery in the sky, Atlas 3I, things of that nature, because they are showing Jeff Bezos' penis-shaped spacecraft that can or can't go into low Earth orbit. They're showing what appears to be an ICBM missile. They're showing people uprising in the United States being arrested to celebrate the 250th birthday. It's tied together. Do you see what I'm saying? And then red tanks pointing straight up. I don't understand what that means, but the robots. The robots are absolutely everywhere in this. All different types of robots taking over your jobs, working in your house, because that looks like Rosie the robot. That appears to be... That can't be Netanyahu. It looks just like George Soros, doesn't it? And it shows Lincoln on the penny underneath the market crashing. You see the market crashing? This is the AI bubble they're creating right now. They're getting everybody and their sister to literally invest in AI, but they're not giving the AI to us. They're simply using the AI bubble to siphon all the money out of our lives in every which way they possibly can. They're taking all the resources and they're going to get ready to go in their underground bunkers. But 2026, the stock market, it's over. The stock market is a scam right now. The entire thing is a huge scam. Satellite dishes, people at war. There's war guys over here. There's vaccines. There's robotic dogs. These are war fighting dogs. The dollar crumbles. You see it? The dollar crumbles. Another robot with a machine gun on top. Glasses of wine spilling. I don't know what that means. And then robots absolutely every place. Robotic dogs. And then, of course, drones, lasers using directed energy weapons, satellites using directed energy weapons, satellite using directed energy weapons, rockets coming off of the ship. Everybody is being entertained to death, or they're being neural laced, one of the two. But I mean, look at this. Look at all the different variations of machine guns on robots. Machine guns on robots. 1, 2. You've got the robot dogs all over the place. The red and blue fighting. The red and blue fighting. Some people thought that this was Tylenol. I'm seeing it for what it is.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
The red pill or the blue pill. The red and the blue fighting right there. And 99 red balloons. That's not a good sign right there. Rockets going up. Vaccines. Whatever this is, It isn't good, and the Economist hasn't offered us anything else. When I'm done with my vehicle completely, when I'm completely 100% done, truck's coming off the trailer tomorrow. I put the axles in, I filled her back up. She's good as new. That rear end failing, I didn't build the rear end. I bought it custom made. It failed in March, and then it failed again. Now it's completely brand new. It can't fail again, period. So once I get my truck squared away and I know what I'm doing, because this has been an almost 2 week odyssey here that I'm living in a shop, it's crazy. I'll get into it more, but I'm sure others have already done breakdowns because we were waiting for today for the actual new cover and they're not offering us anything. So if you see anything else, send it. But all I'm seeing is war, the dollar completely falling out because it has to. It has to. Everyone thinks AI has failed. It hasn't failed. It's doing its exact job. It's controlling everything. We're getting the stupid AI that's just dumb. And they're jacking up the stock market so much that it is going to implode. And we're going to get taken out for it. And the result is going to be the dollar is going to be destroyed right here. And it looks like all hell's going to break loose. And just like we've always said, it will be robots. How many robots do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 robots, 5 robots, 5 robots, not counting the robot dogs, of which there is a good half dozen of them, satellites shooting directed energy weapons, drones everywhere, and nothing but war. I mean, are you seeing this? This isn't good. This isn't uplifting in any way whatsoever at all. If you got anything else, rjcjr10 at yahoo.com. But I want you to see this, okay, because this is crazy. Okay, so I looked more into the spilling wines thing because it could mean something because it's showing wine spilling all over the world that they're presenting. That could be an enormous indicator of earthquakes, something that HAARP does. HAARP creates earthquakes. It could be that, or there's age-old beliefs that spilling a wine is an indicator of good or bad luck. And it still remains prevalent in many cultures. Some argue that spilling wine signifies future achievements, while others view it as a sign of impending mishaps. According to superstition dating back to ancient Greece, spilling wine on the floor represents a sacrificial offering to the gods. This act is believed to bring good fortune and blessings from the divine realm. On the other hand, some cultures perceive wine spillage as a warning of misfortunes to come. For instance, spilling red wine on yourself or others is believed to be a sign of impending trouble or even danger. So yeah, maybe that's why it's all over this map. I don't know. So before I go any further, if you have a 401k or an IRA, get it out of the bank and turn it into something you can hold, okay? Because they're going to crash the economy. The AI bubble is going to make every crash we've ever had pale in comparison. And if you don't get your money out, you're never going to see it. So why be stupid? Get your money out, turn it into gold and silver, and your money will double and quadruple. Will you be able to use it? I don't know. Is it better to be prepared and not need it than need it and not be prepared? Well, you already know the answer to that. So do it or don't. Because last call for alcohol is coming up quick. The world in 2026 is just a little over a month away. Can you believe that? Get your money out of the bank, tell them I sent you, and they will hook it up. Do not get the gold IRA because that will simply be ones and zeros, again, locked up someplace. You want it with you. Or don't.
My message is, I can see in my mind's eye there was rows and rows of white stones of all the hundreds of my friends and everybody else that gave their lives for what? The country of today. No, I'm sorry. The sacrifice wasn't worth the result that it is now. What we fought for, was our freedom. We find that even now it's darn sight worse than what it was when I fought for it.
It breaks my heart seeing things like that because both of my grandfathers were in World War II and they thought they were fighting for the right thing. And all they were doing was fighting for and bringing home technology the Nazis found to make people like Trump, Epstein, and all these other billionaires even bigger billionaires.
We are putting in place all of these technological mechanisms for control we've never seen before. It's been the ambition of every totalitarian state from the beginning of mankind to control every aspect of behavior, of conduct, of thought, and to obliterate dissent. The mechanisms are being put in place that will make it so none of us can run and none of us can hide. Within 5 years, we're going to see 415,000 low-orbit satellites. Bill Gates says his 65,000 satellites alone will be able to look at every square inch of the planet 24 hours a day. They're putting in 5G to harvest our data and control our behavior. Digital currency that will allow them to punish us from a distance and cut off our food supply. Vaccine passports. You have a series of rights, as flawed as our government is. You can still go out and go to a bar. You can go to a sporting event. You can get on a bus or an airplane and you can travel. You have certain freedoms. You can get educated, etc. The minute they hand you that vaccine passport, every right that you have is transformed into a privilege contingent upon your obedience to arbitrary government dictates. It will make you a slave.
Nothing that he said was wrong. He's completely right. The sad thing is he's controlled opposition. This is a big, big, big stage. It's political theater, and he's part of the team, period. Period. The first thing he came out talking about was getting rid of red food dye and how we should all get mRNA vaccines so we can cure cancer. It's all part of the program. There is so much controlled opposition that you're seeing on screens these days. It's absolutely astonishing to me. But he's one of them, period. Period.
Sophie from the Mirror here. Come to Brighton, they said. It'll be sunny, they said. Get fish and chips, they said. Well, none of those things are happening. Why am I here? Because Keir Starmer, our Prime Minister, is here, talking about digital ID. What is digital ID? The Prime Minister announced plans to roll out digital ID for all very recently. This will mean that on a government app, you will be able to get a digital ID, a way to prove your identity. So you'll be able to use this for things like buying alcohol, if you need to prove your identity when you're renting a new place, or for when you need to do it when you're getting a new job. Now, the Prime Minister has been clear that it's not mandatory. If you still want to pay money and get physical documents, you're free to do that. Except it is mandatory in some cases.
If you do want to work, if you want to prove your right to work, then yes, you do need to.
There has been a lot of backlash. People are worried about civil liberties, about mass surveillance, about privacy with their data. So the question is digital ID a danger or is it going to be a benefit? Sophie Hutchinson from the Mirror. Hi, Prime Minister. So support for digital ID cards fell from 35% in early summer to minus 14% after you announced it. Are you still going to press ahead with this policy, even though it's clearly very unpopular with the public?
I do, because I think there's massive benefits. But I think what we need to do, and this is an opportunity, is to get over the benefits of it. Because I suspect if you did a survey, maybe you could do this. Said, do you want to cut the fat when you want to rent or buy or otherwise prove your identity, to something simple on your phone and not your passport, your driving license, your bank account, your birth certificate. I suspect when lots of people say, if you've got something to cut the faff out of my life, I'll be up for it. So I think we've got to demonstrate benefits of this, why it will actually help so many people access support they're entitled to. And the best evidence of that is in pretty well every country that's got digital ID and it's not mandatory. The take-up rates are massive because it ends up being such a useful tool for people. So I think we've just got to make that positive case for it.
You hear that. You served, Bear, you served in obviously much more recent wars, but gave portions of your life to preserving something at home here in America. And you hear that from somebody who did so much in World War II, so much for Western civilization, for the UK. What does it make you think?
Well, it's heartbreaking, and I think it's a warning sign for what we're seeing over there. You know, I think the erosion of free speech is a very slippery slope, and I think we all need to take note of that. And I hope the people of the UK will stand up for what's going on over there. And as Americans, we need to see that and make sure that we go nowhere near what they're doing over there.
Yeah, it's a real warning for us.
Throwing guys in jail for tweets and things like that is something, 10 years ago you would have thought somebody was crazy if they said something like that, and now we see it happening in real time. So, and I've been to Normandy. I went to the 80th to see those World War II vets and what it means to them, especially at the cemetery there, almost 10,000 graves. It's hallowed grounds, and those guys know the true price of freedom, so we can't forget it.
It's incredible to hear him say, the country I fought for back then is not the one that exists today, and this is not what I fought for back then. And it is a warning in the UK. Censorship and free speech is part of that. The erosion of their culture, British culture, is also part of that. And I do think it should be an absolute warning. And for guys like you that have fought for something, in particular and specific here at home in America, and you continue that fight.
I have always believed in giving people power and control over their lives. Control over the public services they use, how they access childcare, benefits and housing support. Control over their data and who sees it. And control over the choices they make to rent or buy a home, apply for a job, open a bank account, and much more besides. In the age of the smartphone, we can take this control quite literally into our own hands. But too often, it feels like we're at the mercy of a system that doesn't work for us as well as it should. One with endless form filling and bureaucracy just to prove who you are, where you might need your passport to apply for a job, your national insurance number to pay tax, your driving licence to buy a pint or a glass of wine, if you're lucky enough to be asked. And most frustratingly of all, you might have to rummage around in a drawer looking for an old electricity bill just to open a bank account or join the library or enrol your children in school. It's time to fix this, to put power back in people's hands, to get more out of our public services, and to bring the UK into the modern age. Madam Deputy Speaker, there are 3 reasons why we want to introduce a new free digital ID available to all UK citizens and legal residents above the age of 16. First, it's about giving people greater agency over their lives.
A story we've looked at many times over the last few weeks. In fact, we've looked at it many times over the last few years, but seems to take another turn each time or each day. Brits worried that Keir Starmer's digital ID card plans won't stop illegal immigration or people smuggling, warning they could be bypassed and create more red tape for legal residents. Experts doubt their impact on overstayers, and opponents fear privacy risks without real. There are risks of privacy without real benefits. Let's speak with Andrew Orlowski, columnist at The Telegraph, and we've spoken to Andrew a few times on this issue. Good to have you with us again. I mean, this is kind of like sort of tell us something we didn't know territory, isn't it? I mean, it was always almost a juvenile idea to suggest, oh, this is all about keeping the country safe, digital ID. It's going to stop the immigrants, which was a load of cobblers to begin with.
Yeah, I don't think they realised what they were getting into. I'm one of very few journalists who reads every report that the Tony Blair Institute produces, and they're not technical people. They hire them. These reports are written by kind of really quite junior staff, just come out of McKinsey for a year or two. They assume that everything is working fine, that they could slip it in, just essentially rebrand a system we've already got called One Login, and everything would be fine. They'd slip out this announcement on a Friday afternoon. It was done in 26 seconds, and now they're in a world of pain. This One Login system is not secure.
And this sort of concern that Brits have, I mean, it's completely natural concern. In fact, it coupled in many respects with some outrage as well. I mean, I know they've talked about this kind of stuff for years, and but given the potential implications of this, you can't really overstate how big a story this is,
me and many other of your guests will have said, it changes the relationship between the citizen and the state. Estonia is always flying politicians and policymakers over, but Estonia has always kind of it's always been, it's been an independent state for, I think, a few decades over the last 1,000 years. It's used to having surveillance. It's very pleased with its system. But again, it's Estonia gets hacked and it's way more secure than the one login system is.
Well, where do you sense, in terms of this getting debated in the House of Commons, we could get to a point, hopefully, where this never happens because another government comes in and says, no, we're not choosing this. But there is always a belief that this is kind of bigger than any one government and this will happen regardless.
He's right. This is bigger than any one government. It's the New World Order. I've got people inviting me to come live in South Africa and Costa Rica, and I have to remind them, this isn't the new American order. It's the New World Order. They're just foisting exactly what's coming for us onto other countries right now. They're going to handle us a little more violently, exactly like the Economist cover or whatever that was presented to us as the Economist cover shows. There is nothing there that says anything good is going to happen whatsoever at all. We're going to have to deal with aliens. We're going to have to deal with directed energy weapons. We're going to have to deal with robots and dogs of war. Be ready. And if you can't get ready in any other way, if all you've got is you, pray. Hit your knees and pray to God and ask for guidance. I hit my knees every day before I make a video and say, do not let me mislead them in any way whatsoever at all. And thus far, I don't think I have. Not that I can see. Everything is going to be really bad. It's so sad for me to watch channels that have so much more reach than I do that could actually make a difference, that are too busy running around telling you that Atlas 3 is on its way and the sun's kicking out solar flares. Anything that comes from space is mankind. We've had the technology. We've had it for a long time. We've used it before, and now they're using it on us. They are going to unleash absolute hell on us. But the AI, not only are people talking to disembodied spirits or demons, telling them their secrets and telling them about their mental health crises. If you're a man, you're angry, you're happy, you're hungry, you're horny, you're tired. Take that and it makes a fist. Anything else, mental health, you're part of the problem. Richie from Boston. I'm out.